PIH, can I help you?
Grand International Hotel.
Yes.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Leonid Rubin.
Hello?
Leonid Rubin.
Yes, that is correct. Leonid Rubin speaking.
Pritchard here.
Who?
Alan Pritchard.
You must not ring me here. It is more difficult than was thought.
But we must meet.
I will find a way, but you must leave it to me. Do you understand?
Yes.
I will contact you.
All right.
Shut the door.
They only came to see if you're ready. We're all supposed to be at the reception by 7.
Yes, I'm just coming.
These English hotels are very well equipped. Telephones, fitted carpets.
One of the lesser-known corrupting influences of Western society. Is that what you're saying?
Possibly. The Netherlands want to walk from bedroom to bedroom without anyone hearing.
You'll have to keep an eye on our younger dancers.
Not only them. They say that even old men are untrustworthy when they are away from home influence.
This old man is well beyond playing games in bedrooms. For him, a bedroom is simply what it is. A place for sleep and privacy.
Leon, you are priceless. You know, it's really remarkable that a man of your simple dedication has never managed to get further in the company than a mere librarian looking after the music.
Is it any less remarkable, Elena, than the way that a woman of your limited talent and total lack of imagination has managed to become so much more than a mere wardrobe mistress?
Less talking, more dressing.
Shall we go?
Hello, Sheila. It's Alan Pritchard. Hang on a minute, will you? The doorbell's just gone. It's you. Oh, good. Come and bring them, will you? Put them straight in the kitchen on the draining board, would you? Thank you. Hello, Sheila. You still there?
What happened?
Well, look, he's in London, but it's going to be more difficult than we thought. Let yourself out, will you?
Thank you, sir.
I warned you it wouldn't be easy.
Yeah, well, now look, is there any chance that you can get yourself to that hotel?
You mean contact him direct? They'd be asking for it.
Well, no, just nose around. You know, what about that dancer you met in Moscow?
Tomorrow? I don't know if I really trust her.
No, well, you don't have to. I mean, no, just use her as an excuse in case you're challenged. We must know what's happening.
No complaints so far, then, Mr. Gillette.
If I didn't know you better, Mr. Moxon, I would almost suspect you of fishing for compliments.
Everything is going smoothly, then.
I know a little of the preparations involved in looking after a tour of this importance.
Preparations are one thing, results another. Whiskey and soda, please.
Have no fear. I only hope our people in Moscow do as well when your ballet make the return visit next year.
Good of you to say so.
Both our governments place great stress on cultural exchanges of this sort.
I think we both know how much can be gained by them.
Just as we know how much damage can be done when every little detail isn't taken care of properly.
Indeed.
Your drink.
Oh, thank you.
I just want to assure you that no one is more aware or more appreciative than myself. Would you like to meet the prima ballerina?
Oh, what a thrill.
I wish Moxon had hurried up.
Oh, no, look at him. He's enjoying himself.
Oh, I'm glad.
Pity he wouldn't spend more time where he belongs.
Where is that, sir?
In his office. Comes to something when I've got to run around after him.
Alec!
Oh, Sergei! Hello, nice.
Unfortunately, I cannot stay.
What a pity, what a pity. Never mind, another time.
You remember the
Rotary Club. Not...
Who was that?
He was vice consul in Glasgow for years. Wild man.
Well, aren't you glad you came? Eh? You're enjoying yourself now. You know, Moxon, I reckon that if he circulated much more, he'd screw himself into the crowd.
Come on, Jordan, there's only one thing to do here. No, you're on duty. Come on. Very good. And champagne.
Please,
Yeah, you don't fancy the ballet yourself, Jordan?
Well, I don't mind the music. It's all the prancing around I can't stand. I mean, all these fellas in their little white tights doing little leaps and everything. Mind you, I think ballet dances are quite nice. Wouldn't you agree with that? I said I thought...
I heard you.
Would you agree with me?
Well, that's all a matter of opinion, isn't it?
Oh,
Cheers.
good. I think I'll circulate for a little.
Hey, Jordan, just a minute. Good evening.
Evening. That's Notting Hill Gate, in case you're interested.
Thank you.
My name is Elliot Jordan. What is your name?
Tamaro.
Tamara.
Lydia Tamaro.
Lydia Tamara. Your English is very good.
Thank you.
Did you learn it at school?
At the ballet school, there were some English girls.
Really? How interesting. What do you do in the company, Miss
Tamaro.
Tamara? No.
I dance.
Any special roles?
If you are a dancer who loves her work, every role is special.
Yes, of course, yeah. Is this your first visit to London?
Yes.
Do you like it?
It's very nice.
I suppose you find a lot of difference between London and Moscow.
Of course. They are in different countries.
Yeah. Mr. Inman, may I introduce you to someone? This is Miss Lydia
Tamara.
Tamarova. This is Mr. Inman. We were just discussing the relative merits between London and Moscow.
Oh, yes.
I think you'll find Mr. Inman very, very good on this subject. Will you excuse me? Mr. Moxon seems to be waving to me.
Hey, Jordan. I'm sorry, I'm afraid my colleague is rather abrupt.
I believe it's English characteristic.
It is of the English, yes. Would you like a drink?
Orange juice.
Waiter, still orange? She doesn't know the difference. Still orange and a whiskey. Yes, I'm afraid my colleague isn't very fond of the ballet.
Your colleague?
Friend. Here we are. Cheers.
Na zdrowie.
Oh, I'm sorry?
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie.
Why is he here?
I'm sorry?
Your friend.
Oh, him?
If he's not interested in ballet.
Well, you see, it's part of his job to make sure that your tour here goes smoothly.
I see. I really could not have thought you are so easy to talk to.
You mean? I'm sorry, I don't follow.
You are policeman, I think.
Have you been on one of those tours before?
Oh, I only joined company last year. I was very lucky to be included.
You must be a very good dancer.
Oh, you are very kind.
Well, I'm sure you'll have a happy couple of weeks here in London.
Oh, I wish that were true.
Why shouldn't it be?
Oh, it's nothing. Before I left home, my father was very ill.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, they say it is not serious, but they only say that to stop me worrying. I know better.
Well, look, I understand how you feel, but you know, you're young. It would be a pity to let it spoil your trip.
Oh, I know, but with these things, one cannot always hide one's personal feelings. Oh, forgive me. I should.
No, not a bit. The thing that...
Am I interrupting anything?
Only in the waiting session.
Excellent. You're not
There has been a problem with the hotel accommodation.
What sort of problem?
Apparently, they underestimated typical inefficiency. We'll be making a complaint, of course. But in the meantime, would you mind if we put someone else in your room with you?
It's a single room.
I'm sure the hotel won't mind putting an extra bed. There's room.
Can I ask who is being put in with me?
Dmitri Kilyagin. I am sure you'll get along well together.
I'm sure we shall.
Windsor, Oxford, shopping in the King's Road, Chelsea.
Their government wants them to be seen around. Plenty of press coverage.
But you told me I was going to hand them over to Chief Inspector Edgeworth.
That's right, but he's been called down to Portland.
Leaving me to be wet nurse to these load of Russians?
Jordan, you know you'll do it very well. Now, ballet dancers are part of a very important cultural exchange and they call for VIP security treatment.
You know, you sound like a government white paper.
I know. It's Moxon's influence. Now, off you go.
Life would be much simpler if we reverted to the peace and quiet of the Cold War. Good morning.
Oh, Mike Jordan Staith.
Yes, of course. Jordan?
Yes, sir.
Just a moment. Miss Walsh, no calls.
Gentlemen, we've got a problem. You were both at that party last night. Did either of you have any contact with a young dancer named Lydia Tamarova?
Yes. What about?
Well, answer my question, please.
Well, as it so happens, we did speak to her.
Both of you.
Yes, both of us.
What do you want to know?
Anything special about her?
Nothing really.
What does she talk about?
Very ordinary things.
A very attractive girl, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but in every other way, totally normal. Why?
Well, let's hope that's just what she is, a normal, high-spirited girl who wants a bit of fun on the quiet. Otherwise, she's going to involve you in a very awkward situation.
I wouldn't call her high-spirited, would you?
No. What actually has she done?
What she's done is take herself off without leave. She's disappeared.
What? The Superintendent Inman checked them in at the hotel himself.
She still didn't come down to breakfast this morning.
Oh.
There's no question she's gone. I've just had the embassy on the phone. Her bed hadn't been slept in.
Well, I mean, maybe she went out for a breath of fresh air and had an accident.
Why do you say that?
Well, it's a possibility.
It'd certainly be a solution.
Eh?
Well, I mean, it would be less awkward, politically, than some other possibilities that enter the mind.
Well, I mean, shouldn't we check all the hospitals before jumping to conclusions?
I'm not jumping to any conclusions. I just don't want anything like that blowing up in my face, and I'm relying on you to prevent it.
Yes, wait a minute. Now, no one saw her go.
All I know is that she's gone, and I want her back before anyone else knows it, especially the press. We've all worked damned hard to make this tour a success, and I don't want it ruined by any foolish young girl indulging in any mock heroics.
All right. Chief Inspector Jordan will get on to it right away.
Good. Oh, by the by, any more on that writer's protest email?
Yes, I've just been reading Edgeworth's report. It seems they are set on making a showing.
Pity.
Well, nothing uniform branch can't handle.
Any idea where?
I believe outside the theatre.
It is correct, the new orchestration. You will see the woodwind part in the third act has been completely rescored.
Excuse me.
Ah, yes, my friend. And here is the complete new timpani part.
Chief Inspector Job.
Ah, yes, yes. How do you do? Oh, didn't we meet at the party last night?
You British policemen are very efficient.
Oh, no, it's just I happen to have a head for faces. Miss... Oh, dear, I'm not very good on names, though.
Elena Petrova.
How do you do? How do you do?
I meant that you've lost no time in looking for a wandering dancer.
Actually, I was wanting to speak to the director of the company.
He's busy at the moment, I'm afraid. I am the secretary of the company, amongst a lot of other things. I think I can give you all the help you want. As one of the older members of the company, I naturally take a special interest in the welfare of the younger girls.
Well, you have a lot of responsibility.
Not really. They are all good girls, completely trustworthy. Even our little Tamarova.
When did you first notice she was missing from the hotel?
This morning at breakfast. She must have left the hotel during the night.
No one knew? She never said to anyone where she might have gone?
No. Is that not typical of young girls? I'm afraid our little Lydia is more romantic than most.
Romantic?
I'm sure that's all it is. Possibly she felt homesick a little. She wanted a quiet walk by your Thames. We also have a river like this in Moscow, you know.
Oh, yes, the Moscow River.
Yeah. And somehow she got lost.
I hope you're right.
What else can it be? Naturally, we are worried about her too. We want her back safely. But I am sure that she will wander home by herself in a few hours. Surprised there's been so much fuss.
Is that an official view?
It is the view of a very experienced woman, Inspector. Naturally, our embassy people take these things very seriously, but you will see, I will be right.
How best can we help you?
Naturally, we want no commotion. If it got in the newspapers,
We're making
then...
discreet inquiries at the hotel.
I am afraid we give you a lot of trouble, Inspector.
Oh, well, it's trouble to avoid trouble, and that is, after all, the easiest kind. Well, we'll keep you informed. Goodbye.
I agree with you, Jordan. We can't leave it at that, whatever your lady friend says. She's probably KGB.
Yes, acts as big sister to the little children.
It's a type. The male of the species is known as Big Brother.
Nothing from any hospital yet?
No, it's not going to be as simple as that.
She couldn't have been kidnapped, could she?
Well, I'll be honest, Jordan. That thought had occurred to me. But we've had an odd report in from a night porter at the hotel. Apparently an English girl turned up there late last night and said she was an old friend of Tamarava's from Moscow.
And?
And nothing. She was told she would have to write or leave a message. She said she would and left. No name, no nothing.
Now she has a name?
Well, you know, we're always moaning about security's records, but I must say they take a bit of beating. Do you know they've actually given me the names of English girls who studied at the same ballet school as Lydia? There are 3 that might fit. I want you to try them.
Have you got any background on them?
Nothing much. The first lives in West Kensington and the...
That's right. I did go to the hotel last night.
Why did you want to see her?
Why shouldn't I? You were quite friendly when I was in Moscow. She showed me around. Well, there's nothing wrong in that, is there?
Oh, no. You are a dancer?
No.
Well, then, what were you doing at a Russian ballet school?
I was then.
And now?
I teach. Do you smoke?
No, I don't.
Well, if you'll excuse me.
Yes, of course.
Now, Mr.
Jordan.
Mr. Jordan, what's all this about?
How well did you know her?
I've just told you.
Well, you discussed things with her. What was her attitude to life in her country? What were her attitudes about the West?
Really? Life in a ballet school, let alone a Russian ballet school, leaves no time for talking about the state of the world. If you think all Russians are interested in politics, you have a lot to learn.
Well, thank you very much for teaching me, Miss Franklin. About my visit, I'd appreciate it if you didn't say anything to anyone about it. We have our reasons. Oh, and if she should contact you...
Is that a criminal offense?
Oh, no, it just might cause complications.
Well, Lydia was just one of the dancers. She worked hard like everyone else. She was very talented. There's nothing more I can say.
Well, thank you very much for your help, Miss Franklin. Goodbye.
It's all right. He's gone now.
course, Mr. Mox.
Are you with me?
I understand perfectly.
You've relieved my mind.
We were merely wondering what action had been taken and when we could expect to receive reports of progress.
We shall keep you informed of any developments.
I see.
Right away.
But she has been already missing for over 12 hours.
Believe me, we sympathize deeply.
Thank you.
You couldn't rely on us.
Now, as to the question of the demonstration outside the theaters this afternoon.
Hardly a demonstration.
Yes, I know. 2 or 3 people. But we would prefer it did not happen again.
Yes, I agree with you, Mr. Moxon, but I mean, couldn't that be construed as an attempt to interfere with the right of free expression in this country?
You must restrain your passion.
Is it our right of
argument, Edmund? What I'm suggesting is normal special branch policy.
Yes, but I mean, don't you think it should be referred to the Commissioner?
Possibly, but let's not worry him. See what you can do.
All right, look, I promise you, we will try the informal approach yet once again. How's that? Goodbye.
And I got onto those 3 girls. The very first one I went to was the one who said...
You better try the organizer again.
You mean Pritchard?
Yeah.
Well, there's only 2 fellas there with 2 little placards.
You can bet he'll have the press and TV coverage on it and blow it up into something really big.
Now, what do I threaten him this time with? Thumbscrews or the rack?
Now, Jordan, don't you start. You don't threaten him at all. You ask him what his plans are, and you just have a friendly little chat.
Yeah. But I'm supposed to be looking for the girl.
I am seeing the girl this afternoon.
You what?
Strangest thing. I had a message from her late last night. She wants to talk to me.
Where is she?
I've no idea, but at 4 o'clock she says she'll be at Regent's Park.
Regent's Park? That's a little vague, isn't it?
The zoo.
The zoo?
The sea lion pool, actually.
Don't fall in.
Well, here I am.
So I see.
Anyway, this is the best place we could meet.
You mean more public, more private?
I mean, it's so appropriate. These poor animals. They look so free.
Yes. Look, you running away like this, aren't you just making more trouble for yourself?
Not only for myself, for my family, too.
Then wouldn't it be best just to go back to the hotel now?
Why you think I have done this?
Tell me.
I don't know if I can put in words. It's like coming out from dark, damp cellar where you have lived all your life. Suddenly you find yourself in big, white field where air is clean and sun is shining. It's too much to take in all at once. All you know is you want to run and drink in
freshness
of... Nothing else matters. But how can I expect you to understand, you who have lived all your life in free air?
No, I can understand that.
So that is what I'm doing. I'm running. Then I think of my family, my father. If I do this, what I want, I may never see again.
Yes. And then there's your career, your dancing. That must mean something too.
Of course. But other things mean more. I don't mind what I do. I would work as waiter, so long as I can stay.
That might be very difficult.
How difficult?
Where are you staying now?
I must answer. I don't want to get other people in trouble.
You see, we have our laws as well, Lydia. It's not very easy to get permission to live in this country, let alone work here.
But other people have done. Ballet dancers like...
Yeah, I know. I do know that. Do you understand the phrase political asylum? Well, are you saying that you want to apply for political asylum?
I just know I don't want to go into dark cellar again. I am not interested in politics. I just want to live my life free. It's not enough.
Oh, it's not up to me. See, my orders are to take you back to your company as quickly as possible and with as little fuss.
What do you do if I refuse? You drag me there?
I could have you arrested here and now.
But what have I done?
You see, you are welcome here as long as your visa lasts and as long as you are doing what your visa says you are doing.
So, I must dance.
You're very... Now, I'm not saying I'm going to arrest you, but if you go back now, nothing will be said. Oh, I can't stop you applying for political asylum, but I can warn you. I honestly believe it's my duty to warn you that it may not be granted. And if that happens, then you can't stay here. You will have to go home. Don't you see the terrible risk you'll be running?
But why should they refuse?
You really don't see what it is to do with you, Ileana. It is a purely musical matter.
When did you first notice the parts were missing?
Last night.
Only last night? You didn't check them before we left Moscow?
Of course I did.
Well, then why didn't you notice it then?
We are using the new orchestration here. With the woodwind and timpani sections, it's been completely redone, so there's no chance of confusing them. But with the strings and brass, the changes are only slight. It's easy to make a mistake. I made a mistake.
And so you thought you would put this right on your own?
I
and hope that no one noticed
simply
it?
Trying to save time. I knew the music library at the theater could help us out.
And you also knew that no one in this company is allowed to make a direct contact to the English theater staff without permission.
With or without permission, my dear Ileana, we still need the new parts copied out from the music score. Would you rather we perform tomorrow night with only half an orchestra?
I would rather we brought through to the librarian who knew his job in the first place.
No doubt when we get back to Moscow, you'll take steps to see that is put right, too. But in the meantime...
In the meantime, if you'll give me the score, I will see it's delivered to the theater library. You have it here.
But I still have some work to do on it, marking out the right sections. Wouldn't it be simpler if I just took it into them myself? Then I can explain to them exactly what we need. What are you worried about, Ileana? Do you think it contains the secrets of our missile defense system and a code of crotchets and quavers?
I think, beyond it, that making jokes can also be a kind of defense system. Even ones in bad taste like that.
I'll tell you straight, Jordan, all my instincts tell me to pick up that phone and talk to my MP. Ring up half a dozen newspaper editors and contact the television companies and give them a verbatim account of this conversation.
I'm not stopping you. What is?
One tiny thought. The only people who'll get any laugh out of this will be the KGB. And how they laugh. The dear old English Bobby doing their dirty work.
You're entitled to put any interpretation on this visit as you like.
It doesn't need interpreting. You spelled it out in words of one syllable.
All I asked for was your cooperation.
Now, you asked me to call off all further demonstrations for fear of upsetting our charming Russian guests.
That's your words, not mine.
Very well, then, what do you want?
Well, it's a matter of protocol, Mr. Pritchard, not to mention international relations.
Well, the Russians, of course, being great respecters of both. Tanks in the streets of Prague, a wall through the centre of Berlin.
Yeah, well, that may be, but they're still our guests. That's your words. Just the same as we don't go around encouraging people to burn down their embassies, so we have a duty to protect their dancers from harm.
Well, only holding those placards, not banging anybody over the head with them.
But incidents could still happen. It's our duty to prevent them.
Have you any idea what exactly we are protesting about?
Yeah, I've got a general idea.
Well, let me make it more specific for you. At this very moment, there are several dozen men, writers, like me, but with more talent and a great deal more courage. Several dozen of them in labor camps in the Soviet Union for the crime of having dared to criticize the regime. And in many cases, their families don't even know where they are.
Yes. But does protesting here really help them?
Well, nobody can protest there. Anything that focuses the opinion of the world on their plight is worth doing.
But you do see it does create problems.
That's unfortunate. See, this whole cultural exchange should never have taken place. No spoons are long enough to sup with that particular devil. It only encourages him.
Yes, well, it's a little bit late now. Look, all we're trying to avoid is more difficulties. Now, if you would tell us your plans, you won't find us unhelpful.
I've got a better idea. Arrest me.
I think I've understood everything, Mr. Rubin.
I wish my English could be clearer and more precise, but you follow me.
Perfectly.
Sorry to give you all this trouble.
Oh, we've coped with worse in the past. We have a team of expert copyists we can call on at any time to help us out.
Then I'll call back tomorrow morning to collect the music and complete our business.
I shall be ready for you.
After that, I hope we need involve you no more.
Sorry.
It's out of the question, Inman. The Home Secretary won't consider it for a moment.
Well, why not? I'm back, Miss Walsh. I think it's a genuine case, and if it's handled properly...
How do you handle a Russian defector properly during a goodwill visit?
You don't, excuse me. Tell Jones I'll pick him up at 6. No, I suggest we keep her out of the way until after the visit is over.
There's another fortnight.
Yes, but the Russians are playing it down. I mean, they've put out some stories. She's not feeling very well. The press have hardly nibbled at her. I mean, it's not as if she was one of the top-line dancers.
Exactly. She's not worth it.
I don't know. Don't you think that by refusing her, we might blow it up into something really big? Huh?
Where is she now? You had her followed, of course.
Oh, yes. She's with this Sheila Franklin at her flat in West Kensington.
The woman Jordan went to see.
Oh, yes, but, I mean, he didn't have a search warrant.
Anything on her we can use?
Records are checking, but, quite frankly, I don't think they'll find anything.
And he said he'd come back in the morning?
I'm sure he plans to slip it to me then. That score was just a blind.
Yeah, well, there's certainly nothing here.
If there had been, we'd have been sunk.
Yes, we still could be. The police haven't been again?
Not yet, but I'm afraid it's only a matter of time. I tried to persuade her to go back. I told her she was young and couldn't make a move like this on her own, but...
And?
No use. I even thought of trying to explain about Leonid.
No, you couldn't do that. You said yourself it was too risky.
That wouldn't be the point. She just wouldn't have a clue what I was talking about. Well, what could I do? Throw her out? How could I?
No, you couldn't do that. It would only have made matters worse. Oh, the whole thing could blow up. Oh, why did she have to choose this time of all bloody times?
Believe it or not, Leonid, I have been trying to help you. I like you. I don't want to see you make a fool of yourself. But despite all my warnings, you seem determined to do just that. You should have been a boxer. The feint followed by the real punch. You will be transferred to the embassy tomorrow morning, and then you will be put on the first plane home.
Who leaked it?
Does it matter?
I think it does.
What are you on about, Jordan?
The character of the girl. It's a good story. It needed a lot of setting up. If your little dying swan's responsible, it shows she's got a shrewd Russian head on her shoulders.
Look, all she wants is to stay here. If Moxon had listened to me, it could all have been done with no harm to anyone.
And now we have a diplomatic crisis on our hands and more good copy for the newspapers.
What exactly are you trying to say?
Exactly not. It's a feeling. If she was genuine, she would have gone around this in a different way.
She is absolutely sincere, that child. There's no question.
The facts speak for themselves. The whole situation has all the marks of being deliberately engineered and contrived for one purpose only.
And what purpose could we possibly have?
Incitement and propaganda against my country and its people.
You know, Nikolai, we want this tour to be a success.
I have been a diplomat long enough to know that words and actions are rarely the same thing.
This is not a situation entirely without precedent. I am authorized to say, unofficially, how greatly we regret this episode and how strongly we hope that, on reflection, you will allow the tour to continue. There's so much good to be done by these exchanges, and we must not spoil it because of one unfortunate, but, let us be honest, minor incident.
The car is waiting. No heroics, please, Leonid. It will be a waste of time. Besides, there is no one to see them. No, no. Wherever he runs, you'll only take him in a big circle.
Which paper, please?
Are you Sheila Franklin?
Yes, I am. Presumably you want to speak to Lydia. I'm afraid I'll have to take your place
No,
in the queue.
it's you that I want.
Me? Well, how can I help? I'm just an innocent bystander in all this.
Are you? You misled my chief inspector. Now I want to know, was it you that organised this leak to the press?
No, it was not. And if I had, it would be none of your business.
You're associated with Alan Pritchard of the Freedom for Writers Action Committee.
Yes, I am. But as far as I know, that's only a subversive organisation east of the
Now,
Iron
don't
Curtain.
you try and be sarcastic with me. What I'm saying is that you had an interest in encouraging this young girl to do what she has done.
Ask Lydia how the press got onto it. Ask her how she got her connections in New York, who she's been telephoning all morning. Lydia didn't need any encouragement from me. Look!
All I want to do is just to live in this beautiful country. It is all I have dreamed of for many years. Oh, I cannot believe British government will not change its mind and allow me to stay.
Well,
and
It'll be all right, because the working permit is...
Hello?
Miss Franklin?
Yes?
Is Superintendent Inman there, please?
Yes, he is.
Inman.
There's been another defector, sir. Mental breakdown, they say. Russians have already been on about it. They want him back for urgent medical treatment. He's at Pritchard's flat. Are you there, sir?
Yes. Yes, fine. I'll meet you there in half an hour.
I did wrong to come to you.
Well, where else would you go? We're your friends. Well, the main thing is you got away. Now, you just count your blessings, leave the rest to me. Now, that'll be the police.
Thank you. May I introduce you to Chief Superintendent Inman?
Oh, how do you do? Do very.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, what happened?
Oh, this is Mr. Leonard Rubin. He's the librarian of the ballet
I
company.
did, Mr. Rubin. I remember we met the other night at the reception.
How do you do? Do sit down, please.
Yes, thank you very much.
They were trying to force him back home, but he managed to escape from the escort.
Now, why were the...
Leonard is a member of an underground group in Moscow.
If you don't mind, Mr. Pritchard, I would like to hear it in his own words.
Yes, of course.
Mr. Rubin.
I am in touch with the families of many of our writers. They have got together and formed a secret organization with the aim of bringing the plight of the writers to the world. There were some documents, written accounts in their own handwriting of their lives in the labor camps. My job was to get them to Mr. Pritchard. He would see they were published in the press here.
And do you have these documents?
No, I failed.
You don't understand. That's why they were shipping him home.
Mr. Pritchard, I understand perfectly, but you see, it's my job to establish the facts of the situation.
Well, what facts do you need, the man sitting there in flesh and blood? The KGB are after him. Have you any idea what will happen to him if they get him back to Russia?
Mr. Pritchard, would you just excuse me a minute? Mr. Rubin, you say you managed to break away from arrest. Now, did anyone see you?
Oh, how could anybody see him? It all happened in a hotel bedroom.
I just ran away.
But no one tried to chase you?
I really don't know. I didn't stay to look.
Check the hotel. No reports of anyone seeing anything.
Well, there wouldn't be, would there, if the reports are made by their own people?
We have other sources of information.
Yes, I can imagine.
It is true. Every word of it.
I'm not doubting you, Mr. Rubin, but what happens now? You see, your embassy has already made a formal request for us to hand you over to them as quickly as possible.
Oh, no, he's staying here.
Now, that's not just as simple as it sounds.
Why not?
Well, for one thing, his position has no legal basis. But you see, Mr. Rubin is in this country on a visa which says that he's a working member of the ballet company. Now, if that is no longer the case, he's liable to be deported.
Very well, then change the legal basis. Grant him political asylum.
On what grounds?
Well, that he's wanted by the KGB for a political crime.
Well, I'm sure the Home Secretary will consider it, but he'll need a lot more evidence than you've given me.
Well, what evidence did he need in the case of that dancer, that...
Tamarova.
No, an empty-headed second-rate, all she was after was a publicity.
Yes, Mr. Pritchard. Unfortunately, the rights and wrongs of each individual case are not the only factors involved.
Is that your only answer?
No, it's not. Now, I will do what I can, but the case of the girl makes it harder, not easier. You must understand that.
Thank you. Oh, and thank you for letting me know so quickly. I'm very grateful. Sheila?
What?
Come here! What is it? Congratulate me.
What?
Congratulate me. It was the Home Office. What is wrong? You are not pleased?
There's absolutely no question of it.
Yes?
Your 4 o'clock appointment's here, sir.
But shouldn't each case be taken on its
Give me
merits?
5 or 10 minutes, will you?
It will be. But the Russians aren't taking this one so lightly. In this case, they've already produced a 5-page medical report.
Oh, yes, but there's no shortage of tame doctors for that sort of thing. You know that.
Some of it happens to be corroborated.
Does it matter what they say? As long as it helps to solve somebody's conscience?
The Russians have a very good case. One of the signs of mental crack-up, according to them, is that he went to enormous lengths to order expensive copies to be made of orchestral parts when he'd already brought the parts with him from Moscow. The musical director of the theatre bears it out.
But that was part of his plan for passing on the information.
That's hardly an argument we can use, is it?
Well, the Home Secretary should certainly be made aware of it.
The Home Secretary is aware of many things, Jordan. One of the most important being that to accept this man now would be tantamount to serving notice on the Russians to pack up and go.
Oh, they want this tour as much as we do. They want to retain normal relations.
Possibly more so. Do I have to spell it out in this office that cultural exchanges are not only aesthetic but strategic? Our return visit to Moscow next year will be no exception. It must take place. But we both also have public attitudes to maintain.
All right. What about the publicity?
What about it?
Well, if the press go to town on Rubin, as they did on the girl, I mean, I've managed to persuade Pritchard to hold his hand for a few hours, but after that, he'll let rip.
Let him. The press are already having a heyday with Samarova. It's a question of space. Ask any editor who's the more newsworthy, a ballerina, young, charming, appealing, or a middle-aged librarian. It's very sad. But international relations are a sad business, and one has to remain realistic. You'll see that he's informed of the decision.
Do we hand him over? Or do we stand and watch while they come and get him?
Well, the less our friend Pritchard is involved, the cleaner it'll be all round.
I'll go and arrange it.
Jordan, just a minute. Don't go. Miss Walsh, send her in now, will you please?
Thank you for seeing me. I could not leave London without saying goodbye. And you will want to know my address. And
I think we've got it.
Oh, no, now it's Royal Towers Hotel.
And you're leaving London?
Oh, yes, next Monday. I have contract to dance with company in America.
I expect they're paying you very well for that.
Oh, very well. They contacted me as soon as they read my story in the newspaper.
Did you get paid for that, too?
Of course.
So I see everything has worked out exactly as you wanted.
Thanks to you. I'm so grateful.
Oh, don't thank me. I'm sure you could have managed without my help.
Oh, no, no. Without your help, it would have been very difficult.
No, what I meant was that you're the sort of person that doesn't need anybody's help. Now, I'm busy.
You listen to me. You know I am not a political person, but you know, freedom is not only for politicals and rebels. Freedom is to do what you want for your own reasons. For me, freedom is a mink coat. It's different for other people, but it's still freedom. It's still very precious.
Yes, well, we've all got to make up our own minds about that.
And if I want to thank you, I am free to do so, no? I do not want to change world. I just want to live my life as I please. Is that so wrong? Oh, goodbye, Superintendent.
Hey, just a minute. I haven't signed your pass. Inman.